How to discover your passion and purpose in life. In this video, I'm going to give you a very simple exercise and also a mindset that is truly going to help you identify what you are currently passionate about, which direction you should move in life. This is going to be a fairly short video, or at least that's my intention. Anyway, that's coming up next. Hi there, my name is Dave, and this is HeartSpace if you're new to the channel, where we are releasing videos every single day to help you live life in a fulfilled way, in your way. If that sounds good, make sure you hit that subscribe button and bell icon. Now, a lot of people talk about passion or purpose, or a lot of people think, you always hear people say, I want to live my purpose. I want to live my passion. But at the end of the day, sometimes we don't clearly define what that even means. And so we're just left with this word passion or this word purpose. And we don't really understand, for the most part, what that entails. And so I want to go over, one, what my idea of this is, and I think it will help you. I think it will give you an idea that you can work with and can become quite practical and workable, malleable. And I'm also going to give you an exercise that I find always helps me out, and it's helped so many other people out, from a teacher that I love, that's really going to help you identify what it is that you truly want to do right now. So the first thing I want to mention is this whole idea of purpose. And my idea behind this, and this is not an idea that's unique to me, this is something that many spiritual teachers have talked about, that many past and present talk about. And it's this idea that you are always in purpose. You are a divine, co-creative, infinite being. You are always in purpose. You are here to experience that which you really are. You can never not be in purpose. When people hear the word purpose, they usually associate it to my career. What am I going to do for the rest of my career, the rest of my days, and then retire at 65, and then bam, I can live my life and start doing what I truly want to do. But for me, living your purpose is just allowing yourself to move from your heart, to be guided by the universe and what resonates with you, and continually do that time and time again. You see, one of the things we resist the most in life is change. We think we need a purpose, and that's going to be my purpose for 50 years, then I retire, then I can travel, then I die, then whatever happens, right? But that doesn't seem so much like a purpose or a passion. It doesn't really seem like a very cool way to live in my eyes, or a great experience. And in my eyes, we're here to experience many different things. And because of that, you'll notice yourself being pulled in many different directions. For example, if you ever started something and then very quickly after, let's say only a year into something, you're like, I'm really being pulled in another direction, really from this intuitive place. But I can't give up on this because this is what I've been doing for a whole year. We think the longevity of something means we should keep doing it because we've done it in the past. But that's kind of silly, because change is inevitable. It'd be like saying I should remain a kid forever because I was in the past, right? I've been in this job for 10 years and I want to go do this other thing, but I've been doing this for 10 years, so I should just stay doing this, even though it doesn't spark anything within me. I actually kind of hate it. It's boring. It's not stimulating, whatever else it is. And so understand, you can't not be in purpose. But you can definitely subdue your passions. You can definitely not be going down the path that's actually going to be the most fulfilling for you. And you can definitely resist change, at least for a time, if you so choose. But one thing I've started to understand in my life is that my purpose changes, in the sense that my passions change, in the sense of where my heart is leading me actually changes. There was a time in my life, for example, where football, soccer was my absolute passion. And I'm still fairly passionate about it, but it was my obsession. There was nothing I'd rather be doing. I wanted to be playing it all day. I wanted to be talking about it all day. I wanted to be watching it. I wanted to be, dreaming about it. I wanted my life to revolve around this sport. And for a very long time it did. And then in my 20s, probably like around the mid-20 mark, I started developing other interests, different passions, and started getting pulled in a different direction. And at first this was really difficult because I thought my purpose, as we're taught, my purpose is to always do something with football. But I couldn't ignore the fact that I was being pulled in different directions, that there were other things I was curious about, there were other interests that I was becoming passionate about, and I knew from an inner place intuitively that I wanted to go explore what that was. Now, if I followed the cookie cutter advice of just stick with that, because that's what I've already done, that's what you're good at. I built a business around that, which was allowing me to travel and all these different things. I would still be doing that. I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be, there's many other things I'm doing in the background that are about to really start up for me as well. I wouldn't be doing any of those things. And I would be living, a somewhat good existence, mediocre existence, because I wouldn't have the passion in the thing I'm doing anymore, to do it full time at least. But, it'd be okay. But the way I'm living now is so exciting. It's so just adventurous. It's so everything that I want it to be. Because I've allowed myself to be taken where my heart and intuition has led me. And for me, the purpose of life is to do that. The purpose of life is to follow where this takes you. Because it doesn't matter how long you've been doing something. Would you rather have a life that's so-called secure? And it usually never is when you go down this path, but it's secure, you'll have money, but you'll kind of just suffer, you'll live a kind of mediocre life, you'll retire at 65, but by that time you're impotent, your body's not functioning as well unless you've taken amazing good care of it, which is possible, and now you can enjoy your life. But why wait until that time to enjoy your life? And so here's an exercise I want to give you, since I could ramble on forever, and we're already about 6 minutes into this video. To discover what your passion is now. Everything I just said before is just to let you know that your passions can change and your purposes in life can change. It is not that it has to be this black and white thing, this thing that's like, okay, this is my purpose. Let's say I go to school and I get this career, and I'm going to be doing this all the way until 65 or 70 or whatever, and then retire, and then I can enjoy myself, right? I can do whatever. And for me, that's not an ideal way in which to live. Now, some people might want to live in that way, and if that's what you truly want to do, go for it. The point is to actually live in the way you truly want to live, to actually do what you truly want to do. And in my experience and the experience of many other people who I've learned from, many other people who I've observed, many people who've come out and just plain out said it, things change over time. They might do something for 7 years, it's a roaring success, but they've learned what they've needed to learn from that, and it's on to the next adventure. Some people, it might be only 2 years. Some people, it might be only a few months to discover, oh, this is not what I really want to do. I want to go do this. And so here's the exercise. It's very simple. And it's best to do this exercise without thinking and just to write down exactly what comes up for you when I say this. So one thing you can do before you do this is get a pen and paper, pause the video before I ask you a very specific question. And when I ask you this question, I want you to write for about 5 minutes the answer to this question, but I don't want you to think about it. Because when you think about it, all these filters, all these things that you think you're supposed to do, all of this conditioning comes up and you're like, I want to do, no, I can't do that because of this. I want to, we don't want that. We want your heart to come forth here. We want your intuition, your actual excitement to come forth out onto the page, right? So pause the video for a second and then we'll continue. Okay, I hope you have your pen and paper. And so I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to set a timer for, we'll go 3 minutes. 3 minutes, set a timer, or just count it down, if you have a clock somewhere. But for 3 minutes, you're gonna do this. And I don't want you to think. So you're gonna write, and I don't want your pen to ever leave the paper. Don't let it leave the paper once. If you can't think of anything to write, keep writing and go, I don't know what to say, I can't think. If you keep that flow going, stuff will come up. Again, I don't want you to be like, here, stop, kind of look up and think. I want you just to keep writing. So even if you can't think of anything, good, and nothing comes up, it will if you allow it eventually. And you just go, nothing is coming up at this moment, I can't, blah, blah, blah. Just keep writing for 3 minutes. It's only 3 minutes. Here's the question I want you to answer. Pause the video, put the timer on. As soon as I finished asking you this question, take 3 minutes to write this out. Ready? What would you do, what would you love to do if money were no object? Okay, so what would you love to do if money were no object? Pause the video now and complete the exercise. All right, welcome back. So hopefully you have done that. Hopefully you have now taken a huge step into becoming aware of what you're truly passionate about. So why are we doing this? Because a lot of people, they think that their passions have to be within a certain range of things, right? From our head. Like, okay, this is something I could be passionate about, this, and that. But our heart always thinks differently. For example, it might be that you really love art, you love to paint, but you've been conditioned into thinking, well, I can't make any money doing that. So you automatically filter it out if you were to think about it. Because you go like, oh, I love art, yeah, but blah, 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 and then all this justification comes up. But when we cut that off and we just put pen to paper and we immediately react to the question without allowing this to start churning with all the excuses of why we can't do it, what you truly are passionate will come out. And so you can do this exercise at different times because, again, things can change. If I do this exercise today, it's going to be a lot different than if I did it 5 years ago. And that's the point. That's good. Again, you're always going to be led into different directions. The river of life, the flow of life is always going to be kind of going around here. It's taking you around bends. Maybe there'll be a straight for a little bit, maybe like 5 years, then, oh, another bend, whatever else it is. But this is an amazing way to discover what it is you're actually passionate about. And again, for me, the purpose is to follow those passions. The purpose is to follow that excitement and see where it takes you, to jump into the unknown, but to have faith in your heart and your intuition that it knows what it's doing. And it does. It is connected to something that knows much more than you and I. And to trust that process. And if you do that, you actually leap into those passions, whatever you put down, it'll be amazing. There's a great talk. The person I got this from is Alan Watts, where he asks students, what would you do if money were no object? And then he goes, just go do that. You know, when you spend your time doing these things that you actually love, one, you will find a way to turn it into a vocation. You know, it's just inevitable. If you're spending all your time doing it, you're going to become really good at it. And then, you know, he used examples like, oh, do you want to be a horseback rider? Do you want to be, you know, an artist, a musician, whatever else it is? If you follow your heart down that path where it takes you, you are going to grow, learn, and possibly even make a career out of it doing something that you love. You know, for me, that's why I did with soccer. You know, I made a career out of it. I started a business around that, a YouTube channel around that, and it's allowed me to do amazing things. However, I do understand that it's changed, and now I'm doing this kind of stuff, sharing my experiences, showing you my journey, so that hopefully it sparks yours or helps you along yours. Anyway, that's it for this video, guys. Please do that exercise. Again, only take this on board if it resonates with you. These are only my opinions, what I've experienced and what I believe works. But it does not mean you have to absolutely do it in this way. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I appreciate you being here. You are loved, and I will see you in the next video.